Hello, this is a little video that I've made to tell you a little bit about what reading means to me, and in particular about a fantastic trip to the USA that I took a few years ago, which I based all around books that I love, books and plays, novels and plays. So the first one, you can do a little bit of research on this yourself if you want to. It's a play called The Crucible by Arthur Miller. And I'm not going to tell you too much about it, but if you're interested, you can find out a bit more. I will warn you that it's quite a sad story, but a very, very interesting one. I'm going to focus on two main books, and this is the first of them. It's called The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. A really, really fantastic novel, which I first discovered when I was about 14, I would imagine, and I've read it so many times over the years. It's set in New York City, and it's set around a person called Holden Caulfield. And Holden is, I would say, about the age that I was then, maybe very slightly older, 16 or 17 perhaps. And he is quite a troubled young man. He doesn't find life easy. But amongst the things that he really loves are going to the American Museum of Natural History to see the mummies exhibition in particular. He really loves going to see his sister play on the carousel in Central Park, and he worries. He worries a lot actually, but he worries in particular about the ducks in Central Park. And what you can see in these photos here are little extracts from my diary of this particular day in New York, and also a photo book that I made about the whole experience. And on the bottom right, you can just about make out a picture of the ducks. And in the writing, you might be able to see that it says, Holden would be pleased to hear that the ducks seemed fine and the carousel was still popular. It also says lots of strolling and reading. I spent that day, an absolutely wonderful day, just sitting on a bench, reading, chatting to people as they went past, and really, really enjoyed doing so. If you get the chance to read it, a fantastic book that I would really recommend. Then I've got some information here about a place that I went to that same day, also in New York, called the Morgan Library. And the Morgan Library really appealed to me, partly because it was around the corner from a place that Holden talks about in his book called the Seton Hotel, but also because I'm interested not just in books themselves, but in the whole surrounding of books and where people choose to read, why they choose to read, and so on. And you can see in one of the pictures there a photograph of this amazing library. And if you compare it to the bottom right, that's a library in Dublin, where I grew up, which is also very famous, and in particular famous for illuminated manuscripts. And it's just something that appealed to me as a kind of a wider aspect of reading. Okay, the second main book I'm going to talk about is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. This is also a book which is often read at school, although I actually didn't read it until I was an adult, but I really loved it, and again I read it more than once. You can see on the left there the book in various different languages, various different covers, and that's testament to what a fantastic book it is and how strong a place it has in the history of literature. You can see a picture of a courthouse, that is a part of the setting of the book, and you can see a picture of part of a tree. And one of the things that I tried to do was just to kind of soak up the atmosphere of how these books came about, what the writer was thinking about, what the characters were involved in, and it was a really, really lovely experience. And the last bit I'm going to show you is also linked to that book. This is the town of Monroeville. You can see there a nice mural that's based on the book, as well as that birdhouse that makes reference to a mockingbird. But really importantly, in the bottom right, I just want to focus on the character of Calpurnia. She's one of the characters from the book, and some people might say she's not a main character, but actually I think she's a really important one. And something I particularly like to do when reading is not just to think about the main storyline or the dialogue, but to really think about those characters and what they bring to it and how they fit into my life. Are they people that I aspire to be? Do they remind me of people? There's also an interesting question there on a window, just some decal on a window, which I saw in New York. It asks, what are you reading? well, it doesn't really ask. It's saying that the question, what are you reading, isn't a simple question when asked with genuine curiosity. It's really a way of asking, who are you now and who are you becoming? I just think that's so important as an aspect of why we read. And I've put some questions down there in the bottom left for you to have a think about, all about reading and what it means to you. I hope you really enjoy World Book Day, and I hope that you will continue a lifelong love of reading and perhaps be able to have some of these same experiences. Thank you.